Waiting on that. Like, I love Matilda. Why am I not here? So it was literally, I was like, when I was a kid, I was like, I am her. I know I'm her. Like, I can do That's my shit. Miss Honey was my boo.
Yes,
You know what
yes.
though? I felt bad for the Trunch. At the end of the movie, I think that's the thing. Like looking back in the adult, I'm like, yo, you're an empath because I felt bad for Trunchbull. I was like, man, I wish someone would just get in there and be like, everything's okay. Like I know it's bad that your parents didn't love you as much as they did your brother, but it's all good. It's okay that you're gay, by the way,
Right,
because we
exactly.
all know.
Yes. Yes. Yes.
It's like it gets better. It really
Yeah, they
does.
didn't have to kick her out of the town. That was one thing that I did disagree with is how everybody got to live happily ever after except for Miss Trunchbull. Like
Yeah.
she became the outcast. That part I like. I was like, man, she was mean, but she was mean for a reason. She just needed love. She was like, I need love.
You sit in a room.
But I felt like Matilda as a kid. Like I used to feel like I had magical powers. Like I felt like I could make it rain when I couldn't cry, and that I could feel people's pain, and that people were attracted to me because they knew like just with a hug I could get rid of it. So there's more to it, but that's a different story. We were on Instagram talking about a whole bunch of stuff, and then we got on the topic of hell and these earthly planes. So I will give you the mic.
So, I believe that that hell is here. Um, that the realms in which it gets funny because there is because with atheism, the first thing that people want to holler is like, well, then how do you believe in reincarnation, or how do you think this, or these are all theories. That's the thing about atheism is like I'm not ever gonna say, oh, I know. I just know what is not and what doesn't make any logical sense based on the information I got. But it's not a matter of like, oh, I know that, there's not a hell. I do believe there's a hell. I just don't believe that you're sent somewhere else to live out your sins based on the sins that I've been given as a list. I really truly believe like what I'm feeling right now, like, yo, like I'm eating all this crap. Um, I'm ingesting, garbage that's made for me to, whether it's music or television or whatever, and it brings the gravity of myself down. It brings my frequency down. It makes me put out sounds that I don't think I would in another place, which then bounces off the walls and is sent back to me however it's sent. If you send out, I hate whatever, that goes all the way out until it hits something and it brings itself right back to you in a
Because that's
larger
a
way.
frequency. Everything is an energy. And going off of that, I've been looking at stuff about like the metaphysical realm and how in one point in time there was a I don't want to call them religious because I don't think they were religious. I think they were more on the spiritual realm. There weren't any dimensions. And they're saying that the reason why we're put into these bodies is there's all this energy that builds up and puts us into these bodies, into these fleshes, because people want to do like how the Kabbalah chart is made.
Hmm.
Okay. So they're saying instead of think of that same chart, but think of it as in circles, as in something that is infinite and something that is not, something that is and something that isn't. So you've got all of these different layers of circles, and here we are on one layer of the circle smashed in here. So all of these vibrations are keeping us inside. And instead of us opening up our minds and stuff, we're staying grounded on this earthly plane instead of opening up into all of these dimensions. And that's why we technically die.
Sounds like a plan, actually. Sounds about right. For real, though.
Yeah.
Sounds about right.
That's what I was saying
I
when I was listening to him talk. I'm actually going to send you this man's name because I want you to watch this. You were on my brain the whole time I'm watching this. I gotta send this. I gotta send her this. But
too.
they've they also said that they found hell on Earth. I don't know if you remember them. I don't know if they were drilling in. I think they were drilling in like a volcano or something like that. And this bust of lava came out, and they just heard screams. And that place is still open. I'll have to look it up. It's still open, and you can go there and you can like hear people screaming like they're being tortured.
It's probably a black site for the US government. Like, like, yo, don't be a terrorist, bro. You're gonna be in here. You don't even have to be a terrorist though. Like Guantanamo Bay is open, full of people that were just sold to them by governments in the Middle East because there's just like when we opened Guantanamo Bay and we started hitting them with the we don't negotiate with terrorists. At that same time, Afghani and okay, Bobby Hemmett and Afghani, Saudi, Pakistani government started just selling them their people who were political dissidents. That's it. Like, oh, this guy wants these women to drive. Fuck that. Let's send them to Guantanamo Bay. And there's still people in that prison right now, just posted up, did absolutely nothing, and has no right to a trial because terrorism.
And they get tortured in Guantanamo Bay. Like that place is awful, and I don't think that it should exist. Like America owns some of the cruelest places. Like we do some of the most fucked up shit, and wonder why people are like these Americans. Like we do not like you. Of course
Okay.
you don't.
And we just can't get it. America first, America exceptionalism. And then like even now what we're saying is like, ooh, it's taboo. Oh my God. Which is why your boy Trump won with that Make America Great Again shit, because the masses feel this thing that they can't put their finger on and they don't feel like they can change it. They can, but they don't feel like they can. And then this dude comes along, literally the Pied Piper, like homie played the mute, whatever it needed to be said to become president, and everyone just went for it. I mean, same thing with Obama, but like he said all of the populist left shit and decided not, which is back to the whole idea of like hell being heat, because we're able to. There's 7 layers of it according to Dante. So, and of what we're doing here, just on smaller scales or in different ways. And then we've got essentially like we're the Sodom and Gomorrah of the world in modernity.
It's like, oh my gosh, I say that all the time, especially America, because of the things that we do, especially nowadays. And I remember being a kid, and I'm not a biblical person, but there are stories that are in different cultures that have basically the same meaning. And they said that there will come a time when witches and vampires and warlocks and creatures and all of this stuff will be popular on TV, and people are like, oh well, zombies and stuff came out back in the 50s and da 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 da. No, none of that stuff was on TV the way it is now. Homosexuality was not, I mean, it was on TV, but sometimes you didn't even see the same sex kiss. You just saw them holding hands and I'm a little
And maybe
flamboyant or I'm a little butch.
like the girl that likes the other girl, like she just looked too long, and there was an implied thing, like a friend, like why don't you just talk to her? Oh no, no, and it would just move on. Yeah, for sure. And that's the thing is like, but then with zombies were they were what is the word I'm looking for? A metaphor. They were a metaphor for consumerism. they weren't real zombies. And see now, and same thing with like a lot of other fearful creatures, they were metaphors for something else. Then the metaphors took over because now it's like, well, there's no such thing but consumerism. So now zombies are just cool. And, transferring one's energy like vampires do is just a cool thing to do now instead of being like, whoa, what does this vampire actually mean in society itself? Like, what are you trying to say? Oh,
I
okay, that's it, but like, no, it's like now it's not even about like, okay, it's a transference of bad to good. You suck out the human and replace it with, something that's above human. And, it's a transcendental experience. And now it's not. Same thing with the movies that have to do with like, especially now, is like the chips in the brain, Black Mirror, having your body turn android in order to achieve certain heights. And now it's like, bro, we're already low key androids, like just by having this thing in front of me and having this to interact with the rest of the world. We're already there. And now it's like, oh, I want Google glasses in my eyeball for what? Alexa, play. They're gonna catch me doing every fucking thing in my house because you're here. Like, what the fuck? We don't have any
Yeah, and then
personal.
we also have the on Netflix, they're not android bodies. They also have them in San Francisco. I can't think of what they're called, but they're human bodies. And I wanted to tell you about that when you were talking about the 200 kids that are missing and about all these 64,000 women that are missing because these bodies are made of real flesh. Now, if you think about all the movies that they show you on TV, how you can put a body in this liquid and grow it and make it become an adult, why can't these kidnapped children be these missing bodies with their DNA turned? Now they're saying that you can take your consciousness and transfer it into this body and look like whoever you want to look like. You can be as tall as you want. If you don't want to be white, you don't have to be white anymore. Now, you're getting all these black bodies. Where are you getting the melanin from?
Yeah, look, I'll wait. Where are y'all getting it? Because like, because it's not artificial. I don't think you can make melanin. So
No, you can't. So, where is this coming from? The idea of being a robot, and then that also goes again with population control. If you can just keep transferring your conscience, then that goes into the whole idea of vampirism with immortality. But I also think being a vampire has to do with energy because if you're around somebody who is always negative or always talking shit to you, telling you how bad you are, how ugly and stupid, and you're this and you're that, that drains your energy. Whereas if you're around somebody who's like, hey, you're beautiful, come on, let's go have a drink and dance, and that, there are different types of vampires. They're not vampires that just come and suck your blood. There are not vampires that just like there are women who steal your beauty in Disney so that they can stay young. Like, come on, pay attention to what they show you. But people want to say that things like this are not real. How is it that you believe in Jesus and this entity that you were brought over here to believe in, or something that these Catholics only made up 2,000 years ago? There are buildings older than Jesus Christ. That should tell you something about that religion right there.
well, you can trace how like the story of Jesus and him living was literally stolen from like six other religions that came thousands of years before with the exact same
Thousands.
things. Wait a minute, we ain't doing that. Let's get this do not disturb mode on because we ain't doing pause. Yeah. Anyway, so by the way, hi Lizzie and Becca. I haven't seen them in a long time. Both high school homies from like two different states. Um,
Hey.
yay. But yeah, so we get to this place where the werewolves and that's another one, being a werewolf. The idea that the moon can only change an animal that's some kind of weird, like let me just put it like this. I feel like movies in general are made and tell us things that are absolutely true, fiction or not, and that we just are like the X-Men. I think I told you this. I think I made a joke about it. But like, I'm pretty sure I'm one of them. And like, I feel like the idea of being an X-Man is like, what the you're a nerd. No, 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 no. Think about it though. Like, have you ever heard someone answer a question before they answered it? You ask them something, you literally heard them answer it, and then they answer it. What's that?
I
That's
do that to
telepathy.
people all the time, and they be like, I didn't even say that out loud. And I'll be like, oh,
Sorry.
my
I
bad.
know.
I didn't mean to invade your space like that, but I can hear you because we're connected.
We're absolutely connected. There's literally a halo about the size, about out to here or so, depends on the person's their mood.
Yeah.
And then out to about here that goes this direction. That's literally just your plane of electromagnetic pull. And you can either have it poisoned or you can be like strong enough to move purely through that's why like crowds of people, like I can't, I'm straight. I've never been to concerts and all that because I always, this paranoia just is it
And you
overtakes
know
me.
what that is? It's because you don't know how to bring your bubble in. I learned that I got told when I was a child that my light shines so bright. This older man told me this, and I was walking to church, to my papa's church, and he said, I saw you walking all the way down here. And he's like, I didn't see you, but I can see you. And he's like, you need to pull that in, honey, because people will take advantage of that. They'll feed off of you. Your light shines bright. And then when I was like maybe 24. I was in Oakland. It was like, my first time out there. I wanted to go see my dad's side of the family. And this older gentleman, and I swear it could have been the same exact man, but he hadn't aged, came up and told me, he's like, your light is shining bright. He said, bring your bubble in. So when that anxiety happens to you, just know, like, just imagine you pulling your bubble in, your feed in, so that people don't pour into you. Now, it's going to happen naturally because of who you are. Like, I get random people that come up to me and talk to me, or I'm not going to say I can get people to do it, but people feel comfortable telling me things that they wouldn't usually tell other people. And they're like, I don't even know why I'm telling you this. And I'm like,
I
I don't
experience
either,
that
but
all the time. Well, I don't even know.
it
I don't even, bro.
meant like, I don't know either, but obviously you needed to get that out, and you felt like I was the person that you could confide in. So I'm going to go ahead and listen because you
Exactly.
need that.
I want people to be able to unlock that in themselves because like being an empath is now like the cool thing to be. And I'd rather like at this point, it's like, you want it? Do you really want
I
it?
don't
Because you
even
can
want people
definitely.
to touch me. No,
Oh,
it's not a cool thing because it gives you like, well, and I have people that are like, Tasha, I can't look into your eyes because it's like you're looking into my soul. So when I talk to people, I have a habit of looking at them, and then I'll like look around at other things. Like, am I making you uncomfortable right now? And some people are like, well, why are you doing that? And I'm like, okay, cool. You like eye contact. Great. I can talk to you as a person. And but some people are like, Tasha, you make me uncomfortable. And I said, well, what are your secrets?
what don't you want
It's
me to
reverse,
know?
right. It's reverse vulnerabilism, is what somebody told me. This girl named Kat. She was like, when people feel like that around you, it's because you know how to um, naturally pull out the vulnerability in people. And I was like, well, that makes sense. That makes more sense than anything I could have come up with. And I have weird, wild, crazy thoughts. So
Like that makes so much sense. Um,
now,
yeah. Um, so to bring it around, like it's funny because I believe that hell being here does not mean that heaven is here, though, but it can be. Um, I think that when you complete your journey, and not on that corny ass, like when someone who's like 17 dies in a car accident, people are like, well, God called them home. No, that was a car accident.
yeah,
That that's different. Like there's your shit can be cut short, whether it, because people are like, oh, to comfort said parents or like friends or whatever. Well, maybe, that it was their time. It's like, no, because had there been no cars, if we'll never know this, but had there been no cars, would that person have died? Probably not. Now, if it
That's
was
how I feel
like,
about my dad, like about everybody who dies. If they were not right there, like, okay, and that's where it comes to dimensions and alternate universes, like the movie with Jet Li, the one. That's one of my favorite movies, not because of how it was directed or anything, but because of how it was written in my interpretation of it. Is there a multiple use? Where do you think you go when you go to sleep? I feel like while they're trying to create all of these android bodies and put your consciousness in this particular body is because they're trying to keep you asleep. They're trying to keep you from creating, procreating, and all this other shit. Like, where is it that you think your mind goes when you fall asleep? Where is it that you think your mind goes when you daydream about something that most likely doesn't even exist? Where do you think it is that you're going? Where do you think it is when you're in your sleep and you're like, I had a dream I was flying? Or I had a
right, but
dream
if
I
you
was,
really feel the air and you can smell the metal and stuff, it's like, so where are you? And
where are
why? What
you?
made you choose to come out? You know what I mean? Or
Why
did
don't
you
you?
choose to come out?
This flesh, this body, this android, this thing that was created that's put in pressure falls asleep. Why? If we don't even have to technically sleep, why does this thing go to sleep? And why does this thing stay active? But where does this spirit, this soul, this mind, because your mind and your brain are two different things. I don't care what anybody says. The brain is the computer, the mind is the thought, the idea, the spiritual, that magic that everybody doesn't want to talk about.
It's the same thing as what we're doing right now. Our phones are hardware, and there are codes inside the phone that I actually just heard an argument about this, that the human brain, what we have going on, we don't even soak in reality as truly is. Nobody does, because what we're getting is what we see here. Like, I know that you're there and I see what's going on this screen, and that's the version of the reality around us that we're getting. And if this phone right now decides to say fuck all of this and all the coding goes weird, all I get is the phone. I don't get to like reach, open the phone and see in the same way I see the screen and you in it. I don't get to open the phone and say, okay, now I can see how this happened or what changed in the coding. There are
Okay,
select,
another theory.
hmm?
There are select what? What were you gonna say?
There's a select few people who can say, oh, I know, I can recode this, but they still can't see the coding manifest itself without taking this screen. You can't say, okay, it worked without closing it, turning the phone back on and going, okay, let's see if it worked. Even if you know the code, you still don't get to see both of them. So, you know, that being said, when you're in the bed and you're asleep, you're just opening the phone to look in and get the one version of being able to see the screen in here, but it's not interpreted the same way. So it comes like, oh, I had this weird dream. It wasn't weird, homie. It wasn't weird at all. Is that my boo? There's my boo. I
Hey, boo.
procreated and made this. Yeah, no,
No,
oh
but
boy,
I
let's see.
a theory about like phones and hey, handsome, we're going to prom together.
We're
Hey.
going to, that's my boo.
Um,
Okie auntie. Hold on just a moment, ladies and germs.
so I sent him up
Okay,
so he
auntie.
could check with you.
Yeah, I'll have fun. I'm
So
gonna
you
go.
give him instructions on what to do?
Yeah.
All right.
Okay, auntie.
Good night.
Good night, auntie.
Good night.
Yeah.
Um, so the theory is that I've heard about, and I want to use it with phones too because it does make sense. is that when you're on a plane and you're flying, technically you're saying that this machine that has all of this weight and based on gravity is going into the air on its own. Not the fact that you've got all of these people believing that this plane is going to make it from point A to point B. Where's the real magic?
Hmm.
I believe that I can see you through this screen. It's all about manifesting. If I was raised in the woods and I didn't know what a door was, I would not call it that door. I could possibly be able to walk through that door because I don't know what a door is. I don't know what that limitation means.
Exactly.
We
Exactly.
we limit ourselves so much. We say so much isn't real, yet you believe in this one God that exists for only 2,000 years, and yet you say these older gods or these older beings or these ancient things that were built in your time by people with the same DNA as you do not exist. That's not real. That's not possible.
Right. Wait, huh? You can watch a car park itself with cameras everywhere that can give you an accurate depiction. You'll trust that. But if I slide in your DMs and hit you with a, so what if I told you that you could literally speak money into your life? Oh, that's not a thing. Okay, that's not a thing. Let's
And
just go
yet
with that.
America is supposed to be the manifest destiny. There was so much. What they don't
Pardon?
realize is America was built off of nothing but blood sacrifices. What do you get with blood sacrifice? What do you get with blood when you do blood magic? And that's kind of what I was talking about yesterday. These girls, like, I thought it was a joke, was talking about how they have sex on their period. With how many men have you done this with?
Right.
Why would, like, you're not doing this with somebody that you said that this is going to be your forever, this is your husband, this is your wife. Do you know what kind of magic that is? Because sex is a spiritual thing. No matter how you put it, giving your body to somebody else, I don't care whether it's man on woman, man to woman, everybody's doing a fucking orgy. I don't care. There is a magic within that. There are realms that you open up within that. How the fuck do you think you create? You open yourself up to that person. Period. You have to trust that person. I don't care if you guys don't like each other. At that point in time, there was something in the fucking time, in the stars and in the galaxy and in this fucking pressure that made you guys create a fucking seed. Like, come on. The magic isn't real.
Right. Hufflepuff, I'm crazy. No, fool, I'm not. It's a real life thing. Like I can hear like I can feel stuff coming in the wind. And people are like, "Oh, that's just it's a everyone can do it." Like yes, there are people who are like above and on a plane, but are they really? I like I was saying earlier, you just have to love people at their level of education and you have to say, "Okay, you just clearly don't know about A, B, and C. So let's get you hip." And that's the thing with like politics that I'm finding. I watch a lot of people and I learn a lot of things, hear a lot of numbers, and then I relay that information to somebody and they hit me with like, "Oh, well, I'm not whatever it is." And I'm happy that you're happy with what you have, but it doesn't change the fact that there is a something happening regardless to whether you participate that's going to negatively affect you and it could be better. And we should explore how it could be better. Um being in a spiritual realm that doesn't involve like I need to go to church every Sunday. Why? About what
Like, that's
as a
not the
child I
point.
was taught about the Bible and all that shit. Right. It's like being inside this building where you're being told that you gotta give up 10% of your entire check to a place. Not don't speak it. Don't sit around and chant don't burn anything. Don't be Wiccan. I hate that. Oh, you're Wiccan. I'm really not Wiccan, homie. I'm indigenous. And this is what
Now,
people did before they thought they could do it with money and they made shit happen, Cap'n.
I grew up in a church. My papa, my great grandfather was the reverend of a church, and he did collect tithes. But one thing I can say about my papa is he put it back into the community. Like one kid here, this is basically your scholarship. Oh, you need shoes because you ready to try out for basketball. And your mom can't afford your new basketball shoes. We would cook, and everybody would just be able to come and eat. And there was an extra house in the back for like
That's what you're
I'm not
supposed
gonna
to
say
do.
he was perfect. He was not a perfect man because people get it so twisted with the church, but the deacons, everybody has their secrets. But you didn't go flaunting it around. You didn't go talking about, and that's one thing I can say now is if there was a literal spiritual war, if you believed in demons and angels seriously, there would not be too many places, especially in America and in Europe, that would have hallowed ground, legitimate hallowed ground, where you would be protected because it's been infiltrated so much by
For
negative energy.
millennia. For millennia. That's why when people get on there like, oh, terrorism. I'm like, bro, we just weren't alive during the Crusades, so stop treating Muslim people crazy. I personally just don't give a shit about religion in general. Like, I feel like, especially now, like, if you subject yourself super deep, then you're fucking weird anyway. But
The word religion is habit. That's why you go to church every Sunday or why you have Sabbath on every Saturday. I could say I love you religiously. I could tell everybody I love you religiously and not mean it. I could drive a car religiously. I go to work religiously, you know. Like you can do a lot of things religiously. You could religiously watch Jerry Springer. You religiously watch The Real Housewives of It's a habit. It's what the friar wore. It's words that the Roman Catholics, everything has a spell on it. That's why it's called spelling. That's why it's called casting. And people don't pay attention to that. Like they give you these little hints and these little answers, and you dismiss it like, that's pretty dope to say, but you don't acknowledge it for what it really is, for what they're telling you what you're doing.
indeed, they are. And then you're telling yourself, I just had a thought. We're talking about religion and habits, and I was thinking about the other live cast that we did the other day and how we never got to um like body image and stuff like that.
Hmm.
And that is another thing I was thinking about. Capitalism in general is a religion, and it's got us in this place where everything is a commodity, including the body. And there's a what's the word I'm looking for? Stigma? Maybe. No, I think the word I'm looking for is a fuck. I just lost it again. What's the social norm in relationships and gender roles and what's going on and all that based on religion alone? So it's like because we have religion as a base, everything else is just a bad habit. And if you can't break through the fourth wall of that and be like, okay, cool. So everything I'm doing is a bad habit. My parenting, bad habit. The way I view other women, bad habit. Or men, bad habit. Then, or with politics, like all of it, then we're not going to get anywhere. And that's what burns my biscuits the most. Is that in America, we're so opinionated and we have the First Amendment. I'm allowed to have my opinion. Right. But if you move like they're facts and you vote like they're facts and you communicate like they're facts, you don't have a right to do that though. But then like, what is the fact? But like, all that has to be eliminated because there's a docu series coming out called Killer Looks or Killer Bodies or something, and it's about butt shots in the black community. and really everywhere. Because I'm like, I seen a meme the other day of this white girl whose butt implant turned around
I have
backwards.
that on my Instagram.
Bro, I was like, what happened? But I'm like, that's the thing, is like everyone needs to have this massive butt and this tiny waist and this crazy anime face. And like, and we're okay with it. We hit them with a, well, if you want to do that, it's your right, blah 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 blah. But it's like,
No, my friend right now, my friend Renika right now wants to go and
why?
get a butt. And I'm just, yes,
I used to work with her at Bright Start. That was my girl.
dude, I go live with her. That's the crazy girl. Um, but yes,
Yeah.
she wants to go and get Ashley. I'm like, you don't need that. Like, we can literally, I can put you on a diet and I can help you. Like, we are all built for certain things. Like, girl, you have big old, tiggo bitty breasts, and I'm just like sitting over here and looking like a little boy. And she's like, but you have an ass. And I'm like, but I don't have titties. And there are some women who are built that way, but they're usually short and like, you know what I'm like, bruh, we
But
are built the way we're built. Like, it doesn't matter. Honestly, like, I swear women do this shit to impress each other. We really
I'm
do. Seriously,
yeah.
putting weaves in our hair and knowing what number and knowing, oh, is this Remy or is this Indian or is this that? And I'm just like wet and wavy. But you won't take care of your real hair. You'll take care of your weave for months, but you won't maintenance your natural hair. You'll put a fucking relaxer in it and be like, oh, yes. No, but you're damaging your brain cells. Like, you're doing so much to yourself by doing that. Why?
Exactly.
Why?
And it
You're
happens.
bleaching your skin while these bitches are getting tans and fat asses.
It's like everyone's switching sides, but for what though? When if we just break it down to be like, we're made this way. Like, mind you, like going to high school in Glasgow, which Danielle just dropped in. I was like one of, I think it was like 10 black kids in the whole place. Tiana, like I can count them: Tiana, Tierra, Jazz, her two brothers, Chantel, me,
I
Corey.
lived in
Like,
Moberly for a little while, so trust me, I think it might have been like 5 to 7 of us, and we all had to
right.
stick together.
But I constantly got the, oh, you ain't got no ass, you ain't got no ass, and I'm like, I mean, I got a handful. I don't understand your point.
Right, you know what I'm saying? I got a handful.
You know what I'm saying? But I ain't trying to. Yeah, it was like, and it was all the girls, and like, now mind you, was the dude gonna complain if you have a huge butt? No. Did my homegirl Jazz, who had this massive, like the thing set out there? I knew a white chick in high school, which two of the chicks that just joined will know. Her name is Nicole, and her butt was insane. And I'm like, yo, just regular old, what I'm saying, Glasgow white lady, big old huge butt. So it's like you just get it how you live. And
But my
like,
thing is, what does it even matter, especially in like high school? And I was a fat kid. So, like, I was small when I was younger, and then I got big because I got sick and I had steroids and I was taking all these. This is why I don't take pills and stuff now, because all of that stuff is an experiment and they experimented on me. They used to put me in this little clear box and make me breathe out all the air. Like, it was so fucking weird. And I felt like I was in a lab or something getting tested on, like, well, this kid here. I'm not going to any more hospitals. I'm over it. I'm fine. And as soon as I stopped taking that medicine and stuff, I stopped having those issues. I don't have asthma any. Like, what? You said there's something wrong with what? Okay. All
got
right. So
you.
that means I need to rebuild something. That means that something inside of me needs to heal. All right. Let me see what I can eat to heal myself, because y'all are tripping. This stuff isn't working. It's making it worse. Stop
That's
taking
normally what it is.
steroids.
I had a cousin that was like, so why do you think they call it a practice? I caught my son
Exactly.
pediatrician going out to and Googling shit in Georgia. I was like, What is taking? Oh, so you're Googling shit. Nice. Good to know. We're gonna leave.
I'll
Well,
see you.
why? Because you
Never.
tried to prescribe my 4-year-old Adderall and he's 4. And I know being grown and
You don't
experimenting with
do that
drugs,
all the
Adderall be
time.
making your ass zoom. And I don't need my son zooming because, or zombied out, even if it works.
Yeah,
No thanks.
exactly.
Too
Exactly.
much.
They wanted us on stuff like that. They used to be like, oh, she's super hyper and she's super this and like, so what? I'm a ball of energy and give me
That's
something to
what you're supposed
do.
to be when you're a fucking kid. Exactly. That's what you're literally supposed to be. Like you are a brand new entity brought into a realm that's brand new to you, and all you're supposed to do is expand until you reach adulthood, and then share that expansion, and hopefully because you've linked in with others, now there's
Right.
50 of you, like a one of those ant planks where they like make their own boat out of their bodies and shit. But like that's what you're supposed to do, and we've been convinced like no, 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 be just one ant because you'll get a lot of shit done that way.
Normal.
What?
Well, you supposed, and I hate that word. Like they used to be like, well, you need to be normal. Like I'm like, you're telling me I have to be like everybody else? Everybody else isn't even like everybody else because if you talk to Suzanne, Suzanne feels like she's not pretty. I remember this girl, and I'm gonna go ahead and say their name, Shannon and Max. I was in the 5th grade, and Max had this red hair, and he kind of looked like a kid Chucky in a way, but
Mm-hmm.
taller. And
How come all the
Shannon
Chuckies
was,
are redhead, including the one from Rugrats? Anyway, I digress.
I will look that up and we will give somebody the answer. That can be like a little haha. Um,
Right.
but yeah, so Shannon had a crush on Max and Max had a crush on Shannon. But Shannon was like, I'm too fat for Max. And Max was like, I don't think she's into me. And so one day we were on the kickball field and I said, hey, Shannon, come here for a second. Max, come here. And he's like, yeah. And they're all shy. And I said, so you guys are going to go on a lunch date today after recess. And they were like, what? I'm like, you guys really like each other. And I'm the love doctor. And they dated
Hey,
until like middle school. It was really cool. And I think they're still friends. So yay me. You
I
know,
know,
you just
right?
you never know. You can't say that you're not somebody's type. That's just like that song where that guy says, I ain't got no type. Bad bitches is the only one that he likes. You have a type. It
That's
might be like
exactly.
they might be Puerto Rican, they might be black, they might be white, but it's for you, they are classified as bad bitches. When you don't have a type, you don't care whether they're light, dark, brown, in the middle, white, Asian, Latin, whatever,
Wow.
Russian, you don't care. Fat, round, triangle shape, you don't care. You don't care. Skinny, you just don't care. If you don't have a type, you really don't have a type. I know somebody who doesn't have a type. Really, just, ugh. Damn. All right. Good luck.
Good
So
luck indeed. Oh,
anyway, um back to our regular programming. You can't judge yourself and down yourself and say that you don't like this or you don't like that or because of this you can't be that. Because it's not true. You better use your fucking magic.
because there is definitely magic. There's definitely magic. It's a real life thing. You can manifest pretty much anything. And once
Anything.
you've but there are certain things that I think are purposely put, like money. I feel like money is a thing that is a purposeful tool to roadblock us. Because I don't know how many times I've said or I've heard other people say, if I just had more money, then I'd be cool because I could do A, B, C.
But you know
And
what? In the world that we live in, that's how it has to be. They've taxed everything, including being able to own land unless you go to a quote unquote third world country. And when you try to introduce that idea like, hey, we can go out here and get this property, it's $80,000, and we can own a property over here and have dual citizenship. Nobody wants to to be a team and come together, especially in the Black community. Every other culture has their shit and their struggles over there, but they still have their home, their land, their foundation. And then they come to America and they make another foundation. Do all of them get to prosper? No, but the majority of them come out here to own shit. They are the
Exactly.
doctors and the lawyers and the people who own the gas stations and the liquor stores in our Black neighborhoods. And
I was just
they own the hair stores in our Black neighborhoods. The stuff that we
indeed.
choose to invest to. Like, but Tyrone and Tiffany are over here trying to sell some hair online, and you don't want to buy the hair from them because it's Tyrone and Tiffany and you know them from around the way, and why support them niggas? Because they just niggas.
Because it's and then as a community, we have $1.3 trillion in spending power, and we don't use it for anything but entertainment. And then being biracial, like there's this thing that I want to get across to people that being poor and white is the exact same experience as being poor and being black, except for you may be lucky enough that standing in it, like just because I mean, like being okay, having some aunties and uncles that like work for universities and stuff, they don't care that you're white. They care that you're not, that you don't look scroungy, which is the word my auntie used. And then it brings the okay. I heard
I
this
hate
before.
that word.
Scroungy. What the fuck is scroungy?
Like,
But
don't call me scroungy.
like you don't even like right. What does it even mean? But
And
I
stop
heard
slouching. Like, people who call you scroungy will tell you not to slouch, keep your head. Like, that's a militarized. But I understand it in a way. I do understand it because it's all about presentation in a corporate world. Those are corporate people. And
religion.
exactly, exactly.
It's all a habit. Oh, for sure. And if we can get all of everything can change if we can get those two um together. Not even two, because like we got Latinas and Latinos who are in the same position. It's like, yo, it's being of a certain plane. I heard the saying that the super rich convince the rich to spend their money on convincing the middle class and poor people that it's all about race. That it's all because it's either with black people, it's because we're black, and with white people, it's because of the other. And that's why I'm losing out. No, like Jeff Bezos is able to get you to say, no, it's cool. I'll lose Toys R Us because you can just Amazon Prime me some toys.
Hmm.
So it's like, but what if you don't have a debit card anymore?
We're
What if
turning into the minority report, like, period. Have you not noticed that unless you're like doing a off the grid, I'll call it job, they're turning checks and stubs and all of that into cards. You get a pay card now when you work. You can either get it direct deposited to your bank or you can get it put it on this card. Which
right?
one do you want?
Exactly. And it's like, why I gotta have that? Well, it's safe. Is it safety? Okay, so what happens when your computers all go down?
When
Am
they
I
freeze,
safe?
when everything shuts down, and then what happens to my money? Oh, okay. Well, when this doesn't work, we're gonna put this chip in you. It's
That's
already in
what
your phone. People
it's
don't
already
realize that
on.
RFID chip is in your phone. What do you think? SIM cards and all these little things, that chip is right there. They said it's going to be in your hand and at your head. What's in your hand and at your head all the time nowadays?
Hmm. Thank you. They're
No,
doing it in
no,
Estonia
no.
right now.
I
Oh,
don't know. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. Maybe I'm crazy.
that's what they say, but they're doing it in Estonia right now. Estonia has the idea of like the one world government chip card thing, where you like it's got the same chip that you stick in your the reader chip that's on debit cards here, but it's an ID with your face on it, and it's literally like you don't need a social security number, you don't need checks, you don't need of an ID, you can't get on a bus without it, you can't do anything. Every year, if you go to the doctor, chip. If you go to McDonald's, chip. your money, um, everything, like literally everything that we think, okay, I need to grab my purse. Everything in your purse besides your makeup is on your card, including like your car. If you had like in order to make sure you're not stealing it, you have to stick your chip in and it's like, yo, it's really happening. It's slowly spreading. But we're crazy though. That's what they say. They
Everybody
say
wanted to be like the Jetsons with the flying cars, and oh, it's cool when you see Minority Report on TV, like, yo, that shit's dope. Where do you think these movies are getting this technology from? Do you guys really think this shit is being green screened for real? For real? Oh, okay.
Oh,
Okay.
okay.
You
Oh,
can
okay.
buy, my friend has a picture and I meant to screenshot it. You can buy land on Groupon. It's 50% off right now.
What? I believe it, but
But
okay. I'm
the
over it.
point is,
We're moving to Wakanda. And I ain't even seen that movie yet, but we're going. Okay. We're fucking going, bro. Because I can't
it's
right
time to
now.
go. Have you ever seen that movie 2012 with John Cusack?
I yes, I have. With the
Okay.
boats.
Yeah,
Like
okay.
all
Now, what continent stayed alive? What continent did not fall?
hmm.
Doop, 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 doop. Let me in.
Okay.
Cousin, hey,
Okay, stop,
hey,
stop,
hey,
let
look,
me
hey,
in.
look.
For real.
I'm in there. Let me in.
For real though, because it's like the highest. It's the highest of all of them. As far as like what am I looking for? The topography of it all is like way high and the water. I mean, look, it's about to like that's why I'm nervous about living on like coastal areas, period, right now. So I was like, man, I love this place,
Everything's
but I'm
falling
scared
apart.
because all the
California
water
is
is just
still on
sliding
fire.
in. Florida's disappearing. The whole Gulf
All those
Coast is just
floods,
slowly
all those
sliding in.
hurricanes,
And
what happened in Texas, and what they don't realize is, don't you understand that this is literally, not only is it population control, but they're trying to destroy the land. They want the famine and the genocide and the purge.
hmm,
Where the fuck did the
that's really been
swine
happening
flu
too.
come from? I saw that. I posted that too. But that shit and the West Nile virus, nigga, what? Ain't nobody in the West Nile getting that, and they have to drink water. They have to drink the water from there, and ain't nobody dying over there from what mosquitoes are over there. Please tell me. Their climate
I
is
can't.
different than ours.
Or like Ebola, the fact that everyone's dying of Ebola, then all of a sudden, done.
It's just gone.
Oh, that's cute.
It's
That's
over
cute.
now.
So this huge
Tokyo
epidemic that you can't cure and everything's gonna go to hell is over now. Or and this is where I worry. Is it over? Is it over? And are they just going, you know what? Cool. We're just gonna
or
let it rock. Then all of a sudden, like all these things we think are happening are not really happening, or they are happening and they're not saying anything to us about it. Like
they're
the
gonna
fact
make
that
an
right now there's
apocalypse out of it.
37 for real because there's 3,700 cities in the country right now whose lead levels are higher in the water than Flint, hands down. But we're not talking about none of that.
I believe it. I believe it. And you know what? People think I'm crazy because I don't drink water, or I'll use my ice and let the ice melt down just a little bit, or that's how I'll consume it frozen and not from a sink or something like that. I've never, like, even as a child, I did not drink water. How you doing, cousin? I love you. Um, Water was never a thing for me. It always had a taste. I don't care whether it comes from a bottle. I don't care whether you say it's filtered. Each different water bottle has a different taste.
Bitches electrolytes.
Okay. Right. And also, you're putting fluorine and you're putting
Prozac.
fluoride and,
That's
you
all.
know,
Prozac is
all kinds of
literally
drugs
fluoride. That's it.
and calcium. And do you know how much weight that stuff, like all that stuff that you're putting in your body, and then you go and cook with it from your sink?
Go boil. This is what I used to do, especially in Como. which scared me because my dad was in water district number 9. And if you take a pot of water and start boiling it and just let it boil all the way down, the entire thing's covered in white. You can take your thumb and just run it across the bottom
Right. That
because it's
that film.
lime
It's
and
film.
calcium and all this stuff. And I'm like, yo, I'm literally drinking rocks right now. Like, and I know like water's like the basis of life, which is why you can't avoid drinking and why it's good to drink it for your skin. And you've got all these good reasons. But like, and we can't like, and that's the problem. Like, you could get it. I could get everyone in this neighborhood to go, okay, listen to me. If we actually no, we can't. I was going to say we could all just dig a well, but you can't because you have to have the government tell you whether or not you're allowed to dig it, and like all these things. So it's like, if nothing else, because I know the other day I was having a conversation, and someone busts up like, well, why don't you do something about it? It's or and you can't even if you tried. But it's a matter of, like I said, waking people going, oh my God, is that a thing? Hold on. I'm gonna look on Ecosia, not Google, because Google's the devil. I'm gonna look on Ecosia, plant some trees, and figure out if there's really 3,700 cities that have water that's worse than Flint and why. And then go, oh, and Bernie, he wanted to start a government jobs program. Oh my God, the government. Okay, yes, but the government's supposed to do two things, which is catch the drippings of the private enterprises. I don't get health care because my job can't afford to pay for it for me. Okay, well, we're the government and we're going to take care of that because you deserve health care.
Mm-hmm.
Clean water. Okay, so if now I'm not saying everyone should be like legitimate drones or whatever, how or be a part of the military industrial complex. But I'm pretty sure that if every man that didn't have a job right now found out that with don't we don't care about drug testing because it shouldn't be illegal anyway. But every man or woman who wants a job, we got one. Because we need all these pipes replaced. If we don't have them replaced now with something decent, all these people are going to legitimately die slowly because that's what lead poisoning does. It slowly kills you, you go crazy, and then you're out here looking like Al Capone.
Or
Even though he got a
even
sword,
freaking
but
asbestos, the stuff that they put in the paint in your walls that you inhale, or the fact that they don't build stuff for your showers and you can get black mold and green mold in your house, and like there's all kinds of things like that we're not supposed to, that all this stuff that tells you this is not the way you're supposed to live, and we don't listen to what nature is telling us, to what the mother earth is telling us. You're not supposed to have all of this stuff. Is it cool? Is it pretty? Is it fashion? Is it entertaining? Yeah, of course. Does it really protect you? No. But again, that's like population control. Why do they put all of this stuff? Well, okay, why is our lifespan 40 to 70 years? He died and had a heart attack and he was 40. He got shot and he was 17.
there are people
He
living,
died of,
well, they know that, but we be cheating ourselves too because we go by the Julian calendar or the Gregorian calendar. So it's like,
I
oh, we're
hate that.
only
I
27.
I don't go by
We go
that.
by
And
the
people,
social, but I'll wait. Cool.
who believes in that? Like, why? If you believe in, how can you believe that the Mayan calendar was going to be this 12, 12, 12 thing, but you believe in the Julius Caesar calendar?
I wish I knew. People think I'm
I,
insane though. We can't believe in the calendar. No, it's not even that I don't
no,
believe.
look at me.
Let's just go with
The,
sure, and then let's go with the fact that, well, yeah, look at you. Nobody cares that you look that good at 30. Okay, let's just
You look
okay.
good for your age too, but that's my point. There are so many people that when I bet you get carded too. Shut up. Um, there are people, and I'm not gonna say it's just melanated people, but there is a thing about the melanated people when you talk about, to me, when you talk about the fountain of youth, I feel like it starts with melanin, or at least with the math or the science of having melanated skin, something that can't be destroyed in the sun and something that can survive in the cold. What happens when a dark skinned person goes to a colder climate for years? Their skin brightens up. We're the most adaptable people. The fountain of youth, it's like right here. Where do you think tans and shit come from? Okay, so way back in the day when you couldn't destroy a body or the family didn't want the body or they couldn't pay for a funeral, like I'm talking about Middle Ages and back in the ancient days, it's the study of the body. Where do you think you can collect melanin from? From a dead black body that can't get paid for? Grave robbers? Come on. Who goes and digs up a grave to see if the body is even really in there?
That's a good.
Think a tan comes from? Where do you think they can be able to spray this stuff on and it can stay on all summer? Because if you stay in the sun, what happens to a person with melanin when they're in the sun all summer? I don't care whether you're biracial or not.
You get brown and very brown, and then you
I
get
don't care if you're Mexican. I don't care if you're what you want to call yourself, a Puerto Rican. I don't care if you have any form of that brown stuff in your skin. You're going to get darker, or you're going to look a little bit younger, or you're going to have this certain physique or this thing about you that everybody is attracted to. Why do you think white men couldn't keep their hands off of slaves no matter whether it was a man or a woman?
my dad in a heartbeat will tell you he was 9 years old and seen Tina Turner on TV and like just lost his complete mind, and was like, that was it. And then after then, here I am, because like, yeah,
Huh.
there's an allure that comes with it. So I have the saddest news ever. My phone's gonna die. No, we were on a roll. Butter,
Okay.
baby.
Well,
But
that yours.
like, we could do this all day, like just over a video chat anyway. So I'm probably
Yes.
just gonna juice this bad boy up and call you back because this is
Okay.
getting good.
It's getting good. It is. All right. I love you, and I'll see you in a
I
minute.
love you too. Okay, babe.
Okay.